Good afternoon. Thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming. We'll be doing another video. This is on a game that hasn't come out yet. It's another demo. Just been kind of testing through different indie games, kind of seeing what kind of gems are currently coming out, and what things we might want to get in the future. And this one's called Causeway, and it's very similar to some of the transportation style games where you are trying to build roadways from one point to another. Um, It does look a little more beautiful than some of the ones. I think there's one called Freeway, if I remember correctly, and has a similar kind of premise. But I think this one also has a very minimalistic sort of design to it, while still being uh, pretty nice graphically, you know. And where we're going to actually start off on this one is actually story mode, um, just to kind of give a little bit better of an idea of kind of how things look and how things play out. But so you kind of have these little blue hubs, and it's kind of showing you like where traffic needs to go. And you kind of want to make generally the most optimal like pathing for those that are traveling through it. So in this case, we're just gonna do a right turn here. Now, as of right now, I don't see any kind of settings because in a lot of these style games, you usually also have like a thing to show like how effective your particular roads were set up as. Whereas in something like say Freeway, for example, I think kind of do it all by hand, whereas this is kind of grid based. So it does make your roads look a little nicer unless you're really good with drawing it yourself. So like in this case, so we have two different locations we want to go to. One south of us and one to the right of us. So we're just going to do a real easy split there. Let's see if I can run it across next to that water there. So that way when they come out, they just split left and right. And this is still pretty early in the story, so like there will be quite a bit more to it later. Because you can also build like ramps, and that's probably going to go up very soon. And then you can also rotate those ramps to kind of go in certain directions. You can also make different heights of roads. So there's a little more flexibility, but they're kind of just, you know, showing like the groundwork of it. So I might do this one slightly incorrectly just to kind of give a gist of why the ramps and such are actually important. Because normally, like in the case of this road here, because they intersect, you generally don't want to build straight through because basically one then runs into the other. Now normally you'd build a ramp here, so what we're going to do is just kind of show why you would want to try to optimize these. Oh, another thing too. So normally we would put a ramp here, but this is kind of why, because a lot of the traffic here would then intersect, but I guess it doesn't seem to really interfere with each other much. Okay, yeah, so they, I guess, crashed. So, how we do this then is what you're going to want is a, let's see how we want to, let's actually make this our primary ground one. Then at this point we would make a ramp. So let's say here and there. And 1, 2 basically controls either whether it's a road or whether it's a ramp. Now if you want to go to a different height, you just press the spacebar, and then at that point you can build over another location. So in this case, that's kind of how you get around, things intersecting with each other like that. In this case, it just basically, I guess, causes an explosion, destroys part of the road. Um, in other games, you might find stuff where the traffic gets stopped because they're constantly, getting stuck, blocking each other on it. Okay, so this one has to go to those two. This one has to go to those two. So this is actually, oh, we're still at a high height. Right, so that's a nice easy one. And what we want to do is leave a small gap here. That way we can build a ramp out. So for example, we're going to build the ramp here and there. Oh. Alright, so we're going to drop that one and go across. Oh, and we do have to build one from here as well. Now I think the goal of these arrows will eventually be to kind of say like which directions traffic can flow. So there are some oddities that, so like if traffic comes through here, it can only go down a green arrow, but none of these that are coming from this way are going to want to go down here. Whereas like here, if you need a green arrow, it has to either go north or east. Alright, so kind of similar setup here. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the easy spots. Basically, we're going to get the ones that are closer to their location. Alright, so we currently have 3 of 6. So what we do want is for this one to curve, let's say here. Now, so that said, now these two should go here, here. This might get really congested with how we're going to designing this, but Which also means we need this one to come down. Because I think in this sort of scenario, okay, yeah. So we're going to go ahead and redo some of this. I think what we're going to actually shoot for is just a big traffic circle. Okay, so they only go so we'll basically push them all in one singular direction. Yeah, so basically we created just a large traffic circle. So, yeah, worked out pretty well. Um, there's a decent chance we might be doing a similar thing. We're basically building a big traffic circle around this pool here. Now, depending on if a game does require you to do more optimization, like let's say if if you get like points based on how quickly traffic gets through, then you can kind of make two different circles. You can do one that's on the ground level like this one, but you can also build a ramp on top of it as well. And I don't think the volume changes much. So like regardless of, it seems like the volume seems to be pretty equal across. Okay, so we don't want things going that way. What are we missing? Okay, so we don't want anything going left. Okay, so yeah, that looks better now. And those arrows basically help us control which direction things are allowed to go. Oh, well, I guess that was the thing. So that would be one direction. And I need like the ability to also put like yield signs as well. It's like, hey, if you're going on this road, yield to traffic on certain routes. Because I think if we're able to do signs on things, that would actually help out significantly in some of these. Because it seems like some of them are they just run into each other regardless. So. Uh, so one thing we could do to try to make this a little bit improved will be doing a backwards track on okay, so what we might do here is we're going to basically do a backwards track. And what that is going to mean is, because we're trying to just do a little bit of optimization so that hopefully it reduces how much is on this main track. Now this one, it's going to basically be a track sitting right on top of the other one. However, though these are all going counterclockwise, this one's going to be going clockwise. So two for that road. This one is going to go up. This one is going to go down that way. So I will say though that it is a little bit harder to see certain routes on things. So I will still say that it does look pretty nice itself. It unfortunately isn't the best for being able to kind of see through different directions. So those ones are solid. Those ones. The important thing is figuring out which one has no access. Another thing too, that I probably complain about as well is that they should have an option for when you are ready to send traffic through, rather than sending it through as you are currently building it. Alright. So the thing is, I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. 2, 3. So that's getting traffic. Is it maybe this one? This one's getting traffic, that one's getting traffic, but I don't know if this one is. Okay, because of these arrows. Oh, okay. I want to switch that part around. Yeah, 2, 1. No. So we are wanting this one to go clockwise. Okay. So the top is going clockwise, the bottom is going counterclockwise. So the hope is that, so for example, ah, now that's these are some absolutely terrible drivers. They basically just run into each other constantly. And I guess because they don't have yield signs and they all travel different rates, they're sometimes a little harder to calculate on that front. Because, like, in one of the other style games like this, it's like there's at least a little bit of at least this vehicle won't run into the other. Now, the second vehicle might get stopped behind the first vehicle and then can't move, so therefore it could jam up the entire process. But so I think what we're gonna basically try to do here is make yeah, so this one's actually gonna have to be its own separate either way. So that one is mostly done now. That one is finished. But the problem we're going to run into is when we start merging the different locations. So, for example, this one, we're going to go ahead and build over some things. Okay, so that one is finished. So we do need a ramp. Alright, so this one now we're going to keep going. This one doesn't have to wrap around, so alright, so that one does go there. On the far left, it goes north, but it doesn't go to the bottom left one. Is there an easy way for us to cycle that through? Because we could merge it into the other one. I could try to wrap around the back here. Seems like a bit of a mess. Alright, so we got the bottom left, we got the top left, and we have the top. We have the bottom left, the bottom right. Do we have the top here? I don't believe we do. Alright. A little bit of a mess, but hopefully that doesn't result in a bunch of crashes. Like, I think there could definitely be some better ways of dealing with traffic in here. Like, I do enjoy the graphics over like some of the other version, similar games like this. But I think this does look nicer. There's a little bit more. It looks a little bit more clean. However, I think it does lack certain bits of control, which would be really good. Okay, so that is a very simplistic build. For that. Now I'm assuming that if we just start dropping this into this section, pretty much immediately we're going to have a wreck. So maybe what we actually do is do this a little different. Let's take this as close to this as possible. And we're going to go ahead and bring this one down. Bring that one down. Bring that one down. Next thing we're going to do is probably do a ramp over. going to ramp down. Because we don't want traffic to come through either section of this. That would be pretty bad for us. Same thing as this one, we're going to go ahead and build this across. There, we're going to cancel out that section. Now lastly, we need to build this one to where it kind of does almost the same thing. We're going to go ahead and just build this real quick. So that way that's on there. We do not want them going down there. We do not want them going down there. What are we missing now? So let's exit on that one. Those exit. It seems like this one is not. Yeah, like I think I could use a little bit more clarity as to which ones are not currently connected. This one doesn't seem like it has much traffic. I'm wondering if maybe. Is it just going to one location right now? So that one goes there now. Huh. So I think this one's fulfilled on all 4 locations. This one will go left, and will also go right. But I don't see it coming down here, for whatever reason. Uh, okay, so this ramp wasn't active. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's active. That one's active. Okay. Now this one goes left, and go right, and then they're going down. I mean, I feel this ends in disaster, but and I don't think we have one going to the really far right. So hopefully, yeah. So there are some changes that I would certainly make to the setup here, to the game itself up to this point. I think it could use a little bit more controls as far as how to mitigate the traffic setup here. Yeah, so I think this will be the end of this particular video. And we'll go ahead and, yeah, I think I already went to back to the first round. Oh yeah, so that is, it looks like that's a playthrough of the storyline version um, of Causeway. That was the name of the game. It looks like it's still kind of early access demo. Um, it, I think it does look a lot nicer than a lot of the other style of games that I've come across like this one, but I think there are some things that it could probably change on it that would make it a little bit better as far as gameplay goes. Because there are certain ways that you can kind of, because for example, starting traffic when you're ready for them to come through. So that way, like as you're modifying stuff, they're not blowing up and destroying, parts of your road. Would probably be a good starting point. Making it so that you can kind of give maybe like a yield to things since they do have a tendency of just running into each other. Possibly putting like a means in the game to kind of say like this particular road has priority over that road. Might also be a decent direction to take. So, but so far it seems like it's a pretty neat style game within the confines of that genre. So I think it does have some potential as far as that goes as well. Otherwise, thank you for watching Rundlii Gaming. You have a good day.